The countdown is on. Gonzaga taking on Creighton today. Tip-off about 2 hours away.
The Zags hope to keep their unbeaten streak alive and move on to the Elite Eight.
We are halfway through March Madness, and Gonzaga remains the team to beat, but that's no surprise to us.
Definitely not, Mark. It's our team, our town, our time. Bulldog Madness starts now.
Good morning from Indianapolis. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
I'm Brenna Green. We are about 2 hours from tip-off between Gonzaga and Creighton in the Sweet 16, and we are live right outside of where Gonzaga is going to play, Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Yeah, we're about 5 or so minutes north of downtown Indy. I want to show you a live look at downtown Indianapolis right now. The tourney a bit different this year in that all the tournament games being held in and around downtown Indy. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Woke up to kind of windy and chilly weather here in Indy this morning. We have team coverage from the Midwest all the way back to Spokane, where our Karthik Venkatraman is live in the KREM 2 studio this morning. Well, you can watch the Zags take on Creighton right here on KREM 2. The game starts at 11:10 a.m. If the Zags win today, we think they will. They're heading to the Elite Eight. It would be the 5th time the Bulldogs have made it past the Sweet 16 round since 1999.
Yep, Gonzaga looking for some history this year. We've talked about it just a bit, just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah,
Mark,
a little bit.
First time in 45 years if they make it through this tournament to go undefeated. A team will go undefeated through the entire year. So, of course, Creighton just the next opponent, quote unquote, in the way of that history.
Yeah, they haven't faced really any competition thus far. We'll see if they do later today. But the team, if they continue to advance, as Brenna mentioned, they will continue to make history, not just for Gonzaga, but for the NCAA as well. Right now, the Bulldogs are the best offensive team in the country. The Zags led the U.S. in scoring in both on a per game and a per possession basis. But today, they are taking the highest seeded team they have played in the tournament thus far. Creighton University seeded number 5. Earlier this week, we heard from head coach Mark Few. He called their opponent a really solid team.
When you get to this level, you're going to play a really, really, really good team, and they're certainly that.
If the Zags advance today, they will play either number 6 USC or number 7 seed University of Oregon. We could be looking for a bit of a Pacific. We could have a bit of a Pacific Northwest matchup in the Elite Eight. Lots of Mark Few connections to Oregon. He's actually a University of Oregon graduate.
Right.
Almost went there and coached about 15 years ago. That was the closest he ever got to leaving Gonzaga. Of course, Mark Few also an Oregon native, so that would be quite a game if it happened. Yeah, it's gonna be quite an interesting time if that game happens.
It's a big time for the West Coast and the West Coast teams and universities in the NCAA tournament. The nation taking notice right now. Yes,
absolutely. A lot of fun if you're a West Coast basketball fan right now, especially with Oregon State. All right, so then we will go next to
the Sweet 16 round, right? That wraps up today. The Zags are the first tip-off of the morning, followed by Michigan and Florida State at 2. Following today's game, we'll have special Zags coverage starting at 4, including the post-game press conference. Alabama, UCLA, USC, and Oregon also playing today. We'll have the highlights for you on KREM 2 starting at 4 and at 11.
We're so used to seeing Gonzaga make the tournament. It's almost just like clockwork.
It's like expected, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, when something happens 20 years in a row, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, but when you really take a step back and look at all they've accomplished, really since that 98-99 season, it's remarkable. We are so used to seeing Gonzaga make the tournament, it's almost become routine, right? We expect them to do well. But when you really stop and look back at everything this program's done in the past 2 decades, it is remarkable. Before the blue chip recruits, before consecutive conference titles, deep tournament runs, and long before anybody could pronounce the school's name correctly,
Gonzaga,
there was the scrappy team from Spokane who put the Bulldogs on the college basketball map. The 98-99 season, Gonzaga made the NCAA tournament. In their first game, the 10th seeded Bulldogs upset Minnesota and then 2-seed Stanford. And who could forget this tip-in by Casey Calvary with just 4 ticks left on the clock to propel the team past Florida and for the first time in program history all the way to the Elite Eight.
The Bulldogs then nearly beat the eventual national champions that year, UConn, losing by just 5 points.
I'm going to be here a long, long time.
The following season, Mark Few took the helm as head coach, and the team hasn't looked back. The Bulldogs have returned to the NCAA tournament every year since. Listen to these stats. They've made the tournament 23 times. They've advanced to the round of 32 19 times. 11 times they've gone to the Sweet 16, and they've made it to the Elite Eight 4 times, hoping to make it 5 on Sunday. The squad made it to the Final Four once in 2017, the same year they went all the way to the championship game where they lost a heartbreaker to North Carolina. The players on those teams have become household names across the Inland Northwest and beyond. Names like Richie Fromm, Matt Santangelo, Roni Turioff, Dan Dickow, Adam Morrison, Kelly Olynyk, and Kyle Wiltshire. Rui Hachimura, Nigel Williams-Goss, and Domantas Sabonis. Now it's Kispert, Suggs, and Timmy. The list of things this program hasn't accomplished is growing shorter. 22 years after their improbable run to the Elite Eight, Gonzaga is hoping to bring home the one thing that has so far eluded them, a national title.
I'll leave you with one final stat. Under head coach Mark Few, the Bulldogs have an overall record of 625 wins, just 124 losses. Translation, he wins 83% of the time. That is pretty darn good. By the way, I will be traveling to Indianapolis along with my colleague, sports director Brenna Green, to bring you all things Zags starting on Friday. In the newsroom tonight, I'm Mark Hanrahan for KREM 2 News. Well, through the magic of TV, we have teleported from Spokane to here in Indianapolis this morning.
So proud of you, Mark.
Yeah, well,
really.
Quick work, right?
Yeah.
Well, by the way, Brenna and I will be live from Indianapolis all morning.
Yes, and at 9:30 we will be joined by Drew Timmy's parents to discuss the remarkable run he has had thus far through the tournament. Plus, Karthik will be bringing us some of our favorite Gonzaga moments.
8 to shoot, Hall, the runner, loose ball, it's good! With 4.4 to go, Shannon, don't want to foul, Shannon from the corner, and it's over! Gonzaga, the Flippers!
We all recognize that. You can't be a Gonzaga fan and not recognize that call. We're taking Zags fans back to 1999, a historic season for the Bulldogs. We're going to talk about the shot against Florida that is still to this day one of the most famous, I would dare to say, the most famous shot in program history.
I'm going to date myself a bit, but I was a senior in high school during that moment. I remember watching that live on TV. Good stuff right there.
I was 7 years old.
Yeah. Well, Gonzaga got some pretty
It's the most ugly, beautiful shot I've ever seen in my life.
It's a story you're only going to see on KREM 2 with that, with Calvary and Santangelo and all of those guys.
The guys who kind of started it all, really, right?
Exactly.
Good stuff. Gonzaga got some huge news last week now with a big-time recruit committed to GU for next season. Coming up after the break, we are talking about 5-star recruit Hunter Salas. He'll be joining the Zags backcourt next season.